everybody! Today I want to show you how to make this awesome burlap sunflower. My living room is done in sunflowers. I absolutely love them. They're such happy flowers. When I went to see my daughter last week, we went to the hobby stores, and in the hobby stores I saw some awesome sunflowers that were made out of burlap, but they were kind of pricey and I would never pay that much when I can make my own. So what I did was I bought some burlap and I decided to show you how I made mine so that you could make one too. This is gonna look awesome in my living room. Let's get started.
You will need burlap garland. I got mine at Michael's craft store. I also used a simple red ribbon that I got at the dollar store. I made the center of my flower with green twine or jute string that I found at the craft store. I have also seen this sold in the hardware store. I found a straight stick in my yard to use as my flower stem. A measuring tape, wire cutters, and pliers. I used 26 gauge wire for the petals and 24 gauge wire for the leaf. Scissors and a scrap piece of cardboard. A glue gun and a pencil. The first thing that I do is cut the burlap garland. I measure each piece to about 12 inches. I cut 3 pieces. Now I cut the red burlap ribbon to about 9 inches long. I cut 3 pieces of this also. These will make the petals. After the ribbon is cut, it is time to cut my wire. I cut 12 pieces of wire to about 2 or 3 inches long. I lay my garland down and carefully pinch up the end like this. I get a piece of wire and twist the wire around the bunched up burlap. I used my pliers to be sure that it was wrapped up tightly and all ends of the wire were tucked under. I do the same thing on the other side of the cut burlap garland. After I am done wrapping the wire on each side of my garland, I trim up the ends and get rid of any stray strings and give it a nice finished look. I do this same process to all the pieces of garland and ribbon. Now that all my petal pieces are done, it is time to tie them together. I evenly lay out the red pieces over top of each other like this. I flip them over and I use a piece of green twine to tie them together. I will tie each of the bigger petals onto the flower one at a time. I bunch up the center and tie it where it is bunched up. I get my next petal and lay it next to the last petal and tie that one also. The last petal will fill in the final part of the flower. I flip the flower over and bring my twine to the front and tie it once more up front and then once more in the back to be sure the petals are tied securely. The next step is to make the center of our sunflower. I get my cardboard and draw a circle to about the size I would like it to be. And then I cut it out. It fits perfectly. Now I get my hot glue and put some glue in the center of my cutout circle. I get my twine and push the end into the glue in the center and start wrapping the twine around in a circle like this. I do small sections at a time until the whole circle is covered with twine. This is what it will look like when it is fully wrapped. Now we cut the string off and get ready to glue it onto the flower. Now I straighten my petals to even them out and make them look nice. In order to hold some of the petals in place, I put a dab of glue between them and press them together. I also do it to the red petals if they need it. Now I put hot glue on the back of the center of the flower and press it down. Let's make our leaf. I used a piece of burlap garland cut to about 6 inches. I shape my 24 gauge wire into the shape of a leaf that will fit the size of my burlap piece. I twist the end of the wire so it will hold its leaf shape. I hot glue around one side of the leaf wire and then press the wire onto the burlap like this. I cut the extra burlap from around the outside of the wire leaf. Now I get my hot glue and glue around the edge of the leaf so that we can cover the wire with our green twine. I did this on both sides of the leaf to give it a finished look. I glued and wrapped the twine around the stem of the leaf also. Let's make the stem of our flower green by gluing our twine onto our stick. After the twine is secure at the end of the stick with plenty of glue, I only use a line of glue down one side of the stick and wrap the twine all the way down the stick like this in small sections at a time. Once you get to a certain point, it will make it easier for you to wrap if you simply roll the stick like this. Because I am going to put my flower in a vase, I want to stop rolling when I get to where the top of the vase will be on my stick. I mark the stick with a pencil mark so I know when to stop. After the stem is finished, we attach our flower at the top by simply tying it several times to be sure it is secure. Now I decide where I want to place my leaf on the stem of my flower. I wrap the extra wire around the stem. I cut the wire when the leaf is secure. I use hot glue and twine to hide the wire that holds the leaf on.
The last part of this project is to put my flower in a vase. Now you don't have to put yours in a vase, but I really wanted to put mine in this old vase that I have had sitting around for a long time. What I did was fill the bottom up with sand to give it some weight. Now I'm going to put my flower into the vase like this. The next thing that I'm going to use are glass beads that I got at the Dollar Tree for $1. And I'm going to put some in here to give it color. I wanted to add some floral moss, and I got this at the Dollar Tree too. And I'll just put this on the top like this, just to give it a little bit of decoration. There, doesn't that look pretty? I think the final touch that I want to do for this is give it a bow.
I simply hot glued a bow onto the top of my vase.
I hope that you enjoyed watching me make my sunflower today, and I hope it inspires you to give it a try too. I know that there's a lot of different ways that you could switch this up and make it your own. I would love to hear some of your ideas. So leave your comments and your suggestions down below. Don't forget to check out our blog and our Facebook page. I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!
Bark, 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 bark,
This is what we do on a normal morning after one cup of coffee. I got sleeping kitties down here. Look what I got.